Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm here this afternoon to talk about one of our projects from our studio called Portable Shops. We released Portable Shops in November of 2009, seeing a need and a gap within the market to provide online services and e-commerce services for independent designers, fashion boutiques, independent designers and fashion boutiques. Sorry. So, what we found with basically we saw the need for looking within the retail industry. It was starting to diversify, and we were seeing, especially within areas such as fashion, that it had been quite slow in the uptake of making a move in the digital space. And whilst there had been, I guess, a number of different products associated with this, there wasn't really anything that we felt really was there that was focused towards looking at people within the fashion industry, specifically at the smaller level, people with revenues less than $1 million. Why, I guess, we found this interesting is for three reasons. Firstly, retail, which as an industry constitutes about $350 billion in this country, and of that only $20 billion of that is currently online, which is basically about 5%. In America, it's slightly trending further, where it's up to 6 to 7%, but there's expected growth to be about 8% of the market for retail being online over the next few years. And within that subsector of retail, fashion too is something that will be growing quite quickly. I think the other interesting thing to note too is especially in advertising, which retail is the largest advertising sector outside of digital, but within digital itself, retail is still considerably small in this country as a percentage of where people are doing their spend. We felt this was important too, especially as people started to invest in content, invest in services for online, that this would flip. And we're already seeing that in the States, where retail is now being one of the strongest performers as a percentage within the online market. Obviously, there's a number of marketplaces, such as things like video, with the proliferation of eBay over the last 15 years, and also segmentations of other online marketplaces we found really interesting. Things such as Etsy, Sears and Amazon are doing some really interesting things. And basically an ability where people are going to a number of different marketplaces to be buying. And thirdly, especially over the last 3 to 4 years, with the proliferation of social media, we saw that this was a really interesting model about affecting people's purchasing habits. And recent studies show that in 75% of cases now, people do use social media at times to assist them and influence them in their retail analysis. So through that, we came up with the concept of Portable Shops, with the business model of a software as a service focused towards people who are starting out within the fashion industry, up to people who are getting to the point where they're starting to get multiple stores, where they have the ability to sell online easily and quickly. We were looking to develop a system that technically was quite easy to use and get into, so being able to focus where people could get to use templates, but also be expandable enough where it gave, especially in somewhere like fashion, where design is such an imperative part, quite a bit of autonomy in how people went about showcasing their site. We've also started to see the integration of technology to other areas, such as iPhone and Facebook. Through this, we see the selling platforms that we've been released with Facebook over the last 2-3 months being really strong for the people that are currently using the system. We've currently got 60 stores that are using Portable Shops, and we're growing on average about 10 stores a month. What we're also seeing at the moment too is a need for getting into other areas, and we see this as opening up our API into further areas of super distribution. So further from what I'm talking about in that area is that if we're looking to over the next 12 months from a development point of view, look to go from growing from 10 stores a month to 100 stores a month. And through that, one of the big initiatives is through linking Portable Shops to be an inventory channel to places such as Amazon and such as eBay, such as Sears. So from a technical point of view, we're spending a lot of time integrating our API, so we become like the TubeMogul is for video as an aggregator of content for fashion. And we've also just, in terms of forward thinking over the period too, we've just recently launched in the US. This is one of our first stores, Lodendaga, which is associated with Marc Jacobs, who's the creative director of Louis Vuitton, and also shows that period of what we're looking to go in terms of expanding into the United States and also working further up the food chain within the fashion industry, from dealing with independent boutiques and starting to deal with bigger retail agencies that are seeing the work that we're doing within this area.